Dogs and cats living together. Vegetarian. Wow! Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host as always, Jay Schatzer, and today I've got a great flick for you, like usual. This is John Carpenter's 1980 masterpiece, The Fog. And if for some odd reason you haven't seen this one, get off your ass and put it in right now, because you gotta check this one out. It's a classic staple of the genre, and it's just a great ghost story, mixed with zombie-like elements, so get on it as soon as you can. But for now, let's hear the review. Here is The Fog. The Fog is John Carpenter's sensational ghost tale about a shipwrecked undead crew who terrorizes the residents of the sleepy coastal town of Antonio Bay. After churning out two exceptional TV movies, Someone's Watching Me and Elvis, Carpenter burst back onto the big screen to continue his legacy of fear, which started with the cult classic Halloween. Crafted with a heavy dose of atmosphere and a stellar cast, The Fog makes for a great viewing that really showcases the wild ride that Carpenter's career would take in the following years. If you're looking for a neat little haunted tale, then look no further than The Fog. Antonio Bay is the fictional setting for this wonderful little horror gem, and boy is it a picturesque sight. Nestled against the moody shores of the Pacific Ocean, Carpenter uses a number of various locations to set up his quaint cinematic town that soon becomes the victim of a terrible curse that is violently set upon its townsfolk for the crimes committed by its founding fathers. A slow and brooding build-up provides the perfect introduction and ambient opening to let us get to know the world that Carpenter has created in this story. It's these quiet moments that occur in the early parts of the film that really give the movie a deliberately restrained pace, allowing for us to get to know the layout of the town and the living cast within it. The gradual approach of slowly revealing the various areas and inhabitants of Antonio Bay is complemented rather nicely against the director's trademark use of anamorphic lenses, which beautifully showcase the surrounding area's breathtaking landscape and unique vistas. This eye for detail is not just provided for visual splendor, but for emotional impact as well, as Carpenter cleverly uses these locations to tell a parallel story within the film. He places his characters in secluded locations throughout Antonio Bay, in order to emphasize that lonely feeling that he sets up in this initial moments of the introductory opening of the film. With his guided direction, the town to us feels empty and lifeless, home to only a few lost souls that we are slowly introduced to one by one. What is most interesting to me is that the haunting nature of this film is not only provided by the ghostly zombie-like apparitions that come into play later on in the movie, but it is assisted by the overall coldness of Carpenter's portrayal of the town of Antonio Bay. By combining the moody visuals of the coastal town with the jaded lives of their various characters of the film, Carpenter makes for a unique blend of melancholy malaise that perfectly establishes the film in a ghost-like reflection. This really comes to light when comparing some of the characters to their assigned locales within the movie. A great example of this is that of the lighthouse, which serves as one of the film's most iconic fixtures and an essential informational post for the film's entire citizen population. The lighthouse serves as the local radio station, Radio KAB, and it is essentially home to disc jockey Stevie Wayne, played by the fabulous Adrienne Barbeau. Set at the end of a seemingly never-ending iron staircase high upon the cliffs, the secluded nature of the radio station helps to provide a feeling of helplessness that is highly prevalent when shit really starts to hit the fan for the sleepy town of Antonio Bay. Being the only person in the whole town that really has an eye on the whole situation high atop her lighthouse station, Stevie Wayne provides the much needed information to the unsuspecting people below. It is through Barbeau's characters' communications that we are primarily connected to the rest of the ensemble cast. From Tom Atkins and Jamie Lee Curtis's group, to Charles Cypher, Janet Leigh, Nancy Keys, and finally Hal Holbrook's character, a community begins to form, bringing a cohesion that isn't as strongly felt during the beginning half of the film. It's fascinating to see these things come together, starting from the cold and distant relations of the individual characters to eventually ending with them coming together as a solid unit in the most desperate of times. It's something that you don't initially come away with after first watching the film, but after analyzing it after a few viewings, you begin to realize this movie is far more than just a simple ghost story. Fundamentally, the film just hits all the right notes in providing an engaging story with memorable characters, frightening ghouls, and exceptionally crafted atmosphere. I haven't even mentioned the amazing original soundtrack by John Carpenter himself, which complements the visuals so well that you'd be hard-pressed to separate the two. When it comes to music, not many can capture that unique flair that Carpenter seems to effortlessly create for his projects. The Fog is definitely a film that has the Carpenter stamp of approval. Having his professional crafted hands in all aspects of the production, the man is a pure legend. The Fog is a film that feels complete in every aspect of its production. The world that John Carpenter has created in this film feels whole and lived in, even if it is lifeless and lonely for the characters within it. The hauntingly somber and picturesque locations enhance that feeling of dread and solitude that lies so heavy on this ghostly tale. Much like the sordid history of Antonio Bay's past, the story gives off that overbearing presence of being inherently marked by the events of the past. Cursed to pay for the wrongdoings of our forefathers, yet there is a silver lining in the coming together of the various characters. Through their sense of community and the combined efforts of the townspeople as a whole, they can right the wrongs done and find new life. Whether you look at the film from a more in-depth viewpoint or just take it as one hell of a fun ghost story, you're going to come away from this film with an appreciation for what John Carpenter has created in this little gem and what he has contributed to the genre. The movie just oozes atmosphere in every inch of the frame, and it is paced beautifully. So check it out if you haven't already, and if you have, give it another go. This flick is just a hauntingly perfect film. And guys, that is John Carpenter's The Fog. It's an absolutely wonderful entry in the ghost/zombie genre. And it has atmosphere that is just pitch perfect. And like I said, if you haven't seen it, please get on it as soon as possible because it is really, really wonderful. And that is going to be it for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. And comment below if you'd like to drop me a line. Until then, guys, I'll check you later, and take care. See ya.